Well, let's get into the news portals. We know that the papers didn't show up today. Of course, it's a holiday. It's May Day. But yes, the online stories, there's many of them. All right, so we'll begin with citinewsroom.com. Thousands gather for Citi TV and Citi FM's annual family consecration service. Now, there's some top trending stories. Narcotics Control Commission seizes 20.5 kilograms of cannabis. All right, we have Chief of Staff hands over new headquarters to RIAC. And we have a U.S. Army major convicted for smuggling guns to Ghana in a barrel of rice and home goods. You know that door-to-door thing that we do? You put guns inside.
Wow.
All right, and I find another top trending story. Boxer and MMA fighter Francis Ngannou's 15-month-old Kobe dies. So sorry, so sad. An unfortunate one day. Yeah. Anyway,
now,
you want to
yes. Other news making headlines on citinewsroom.com this morning are Kaswa military officer shot dead over land dispute. Young Bonwura was never asked to stand and greet a Kwadwo. That's the chieftaincy ministry. We must aggressively reach out to disgruntled MPP members. Edriso MP elect. NPP's Kwadwo Nyakwu wins Edriso by-election with 55.8%. We'll bring back Idiomi to NPP, Stephen Intim assures. Edriso by-election results so far. Edriso by-election again, EC refers alleged bribery incident to police. Edriso by-election again, don't condemn officials. We are probing content of envelope that is from the Electoral Commission. We accrued 14 billion Ghana Citi for government, not 2 billion Ghana Citi. That is SML hitting back at KPMG. Now, which stories would you like to delve into?
I want to go for, let's go to Edriso.
Let's go to Edriso.
Yeah.
Right. Which one
there's lots
in
of interesting ones from Edriso.
Right.
Let me start with the EC refers alleged bribery incident
to
the police.
Right.
Okay. The Electoral Commission has concluded its investigation into the viral video capturing an unidentified individual placing a white envelope on a table in front of EC officials during the Edriso by-election. According to the findings, the content of the envelope was intended for lunch for the officials. In a statement released on Tuesday, the electoral management body said the man in the video walked to their table and inquired whether they had eaten. He then placed the envelope on the table and asked them to use the contents of the envelope for their lunch, following which he walked away. The EC said it had withdrawn with immediate effect the services of the two temporary election officers and held preliminary discussions with the Ghana Police Service to kickstart the process for criminal investigations into the matter. And then there's a whole statement here by the EC, which is part of which I've just given you. And then let me go on to say, it says here, meanwhile, the EC has issued a plea for calm in the wake of its decision to suspend two officials who were allegedly caught on video accepting bribes during the Edriso by-election. Now, in a press release, the Commission reiterated its commitment to upholding fundamental principles of integrity, honesty, and openness. And then Dr. Sribo Kweku, Director of Electoral Services in the Electoral Commission, at the Electoral Commission, stated that the Commission has initiated an investigation into the alleged bribery incident involving the two officials during Tuesday's by-election in Edriso. Now, this is like the beginning of the stories. There's been more.
Yes,
since
like
then.
He's saying that he didn't bribe any EC official. That's Kingsley Nyakwu, Dr. Kingsley Nyakwu.
Yeah.
He's the MP for Kwadwo.
Yes.
And we have that story also on online. So I can add up to what you've just read. So I am reading Edriso by-election. I didn't bribe EC officials. That is Dr. Kingsley Nyakwu stating that. And I read, Dr. Kingsley Nyakwu, the Member of Parliament for Kwadwo has denied allegations of attempting to influence the Idrisu by-election. A viral video showed Dr. Nyakwu placing a white envelope on the table in front of 2 Electoral Commission officials during the by-election in Idrisu, leading to claims of him trying to influence the process. However, in an interview with Joy News in Accra on Tuesday, Dr. Nyakwu stated that the money was not intended to influence anyone, but giving out of goodwill. He acknowledged that people might misconstrue his actions due to the due to the political nature of the situation, but he remained confident that the NPP candidate would win their election. He also expressed his readiness to respond to the Inspector General of Police's call if he was summoned for questioning, asserting that the process was not compromised in any way. I quote, "I know that I have not influenced anybody. I have not influenced the process. I don't feel bad because I know I have done nothing wrong. I know it is politics people are going to spin. You know, we've been in this political game all this while, and those who are spinning, I don't begrudge them. That is politics. That it is." Well, I'm quoting him again. "But me, Kingsley Nyakwu, I am putting on record that I have not done anything, whether overtly or covertly, to influence the process. I have done nothing to influence the process, so if the IGP is being petitioned to invite me, I am ready for him. I think when it gets there, I know what I am going to talk about, but no process has been undermined. Nothing untoward has been done," he stated. Now,
well, I mean, I'm sure we'll delve into this story a little later in
the news review
segment. But just a quick, comment on this. I think it's rather unacceptable, however you look at it, because many questions come up, right? You are apart from being MP for Kwadwo, he's also the executive secretary of the National Accreditation Board. Okay. Now, which means he's no mean person. Right? Now, number one, the EC has a budget for all its staff that it employs. The EC is supposed to give the people lunch. So what business is it of yours to give anyone that is involved in the electoral process, let alone the electoral management team members, to give them money? For what? You are not their savior. You are not their lunch bearer. You are not... What's wrong with you? Dr. Kingsley Nyakwu, you can't spin this any way apart from what it is that we saw. You can try and say it was out of goodwill. Really? You know, I have an issue with the whole goodwill thing. My issue with the goodwill thing is, if it was truly goodwill, why didn't you wait till the results have been declared? Then you find the 1 or 2 EC people that you want to find and say, thank you for helping the process. That's goodwill.
Okay, cool.
Not what you did.
Not to stop you,
Yes,
but
go ahead,
on my Joy Online,
yes, go ahead.
There's a question.
He interviewed him.
Yes.
They interviewed him.
And the question he asked is, why would I bribe election officials in public?
Okay.
Meaning that you can bribe, but the public is where the problem is.
So here's the thing. I saw that, but the question that came to mind was, think about it. How he didn't even know.
He was being videoed. It's because the Adum correspondent
reporter
was standing giving his view.
Yes, and doing his own thing.
Doing his own
you
thing.
see, so he made probably nobody there
Oversight.
necessarily thought
it wasn't intentional
that he was.
That somebody took a video of.
Do you understand? So I put it to you that in your mind you were in private. Yes. That's how I put it to you.
Kweku, my major question
Yes.
is, call me the layman who knows nothing about politics. Call me that. So my question as a layman to the EC or to the MPs who know better, is it okay for an MP to cross the voting barrier all the way back to where the EC officials are doing their job and pass on an envelope? Is it an okay thing to do if you are not an agent? Because I know there are agents who are supposed to be there from the political parties. And the EC officials who are supposed to be there. They are all standing there. And the police who stand behind the barrier. So are you allowed to bypass all of that to the point of going to where when counting hasn't started, when the voting itself is still...
Has it even ended?
Exactly. These are my questions that have to be answered if the Ghanaians' heart will be at peace. Because if bribing keeps going on, like Kopek was saying yesterday, Paul was saying yesterday, if our elections, our politics, will stop monetizing it, I am sure the transparency and accountability, we will see it in its full force. Otherwise, our consciences are being bought. Our conscience is being bought on a daily basis. It's only when there's a by-election that our roads are repaired for us. That refurbishing is done. That contractors get up. The speed with which they are working. So it means that unless there's a by-election, this speed cannot be attached to the dilapidated school buildings, to the children who are lying on their bellies, writing without marker boards, without furniture. So unless there's a by-election, progress, development will not go on for this country. These are the questions we are asking as Ghanaians.
Well, so you know that I dare say, what's today? Today is
1st May,
today's
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. I dare say that if there are workers still on the ground, by Friday they would have stopped.
I mean, Kumewo
whatever
is,
project that they are doing.
Kumewo is a typical example.
You will even be lucky if they continue working till
Kumewo
Friday.
is a typical example.
You know. Anyway, so there are other stories, very interesting ones. There is this one here on our
portal,
Citi Tube, actually.
Oh, Citi Tube.
He says, this is Hobson Adoye. He says, it was a monocracy election. That's a remark that he gave, all right? And there's actually a story about, quoting Hobson Adoye. Let me just see if I can.
We can quickly get it for us.
For you to see what he says about that. Now, Hobson Adoye, he says, arrest, prosecute Kingsley Nyakwu and over bribery incident. And his story goes on. Hobson Adoye, a member of the Movement for Change, has urged the Ghana police to arrest and prosecute Kingsley Nyakwu, a member of parliament, for Kwadwo. Now, of course, a viral video allegedly showed Mr. Nyakwu placing a white envelope on the table. I don't think it's an allegation that he put the white envelope on the table. We all saw it. As to the intention, those are the allegations, you see. But what we saw is what we saw, and the video was live. It wasn't like cooked up or anything. So what we saw was an envelope was being handed over to the EC officials. The EC officials appeared, the lady there appeared reluctant, and then a moment later, he drops it onto the table. That's the chronology of things that we saw, okay? And so the story goes on to say here that despite the MP's denial of the allegations of claims of monetary inducements, Mr. Adoye, in an interview with Citi News' Hafiz Tijani, insisted that the Kwadwo MP's actions were illegal and called for his arrest and prosecution. Thank God one of your cameras captured MP giving a fat envelope to officials. It's a crime, and the police need to arrest Kingsley Nyakwu and prosecute him. He has broken the law. It is a crime. All right, so in Hobson Adoye's mind, that the incident as it happened is actually a straight illegality. You know, the other side of it, though, is that if he happens to be an agent for the
A political
the,
party.
for the no for the
EC?
the contestant.
Oh, right.
The MPP contestant.
Yeah.
If he happens to be an agent for
agent for
him,
him.
then he's allowed
For
to go
the
into that
MPP,
space.
yes.
Do you see?
The reason I asked that question.
Yeah, he's allowed to go into that space. But what is not allowed to is to interact with the people in the way he did.
Be rhyming for us. Anyway, listen, most people I know use Glovo, and especially in this office, Kweku, for instance, uses Glovo a lot to do his orders.
Not a lot like that, but yeah, you know.
Right, so you better run to citinewsroom.com and read this, because Glovo to cease operations in Ghana.
Wow.
Now, yeah, most people do not know the story, and that is why I want to read it for most people to be aware of what is about to happen. And I read, Glovo, a prominent food delivery platform, has announced its decision to end operations in Ghana on May 10, 2024, despite significant investment in the last 2 years to expand its services. The company conveyed this development to its network of restaurant partners via email, attributing its decision to profitability issues encountered within the Ghanaian market. Glovo explained that it will shift its focus towards consolidating its presence in other African markets such as Morocco, Uganda, Kenya, La Côte d'Ivoire, and Nigeria. I'm quoting, "We are reaching you to communicate that Glovo has made the decision to close our Ghana operations by May 10 at 10 p.m. The decision to end our operations in the country is based on a reassessment of our investment priorities as we focus our resources on the other 23 countries where Glovo operates. As your service provider company will also inform you, the app and the slots will remain active until May 10, 2024, 10 p.m. After that, the app will close and won't be able to book any slots." In 2021, co-founder of Glovo, Sasha Michaud, said the company was investing 1.7 million euros in the company. I'm quoting, "The Ghanaian market is a promising market for Glovo, and we will continue to invest to reach all the regions of the country and bring convenience to people," he said at the time. You can go on to read further on citinewsroom.com. And for those of you who use Glovo, well, this is the sad news that is reaching us. And sadly, especially for some of us who run restaurants, because I'm on the app. And that is how most people order food from Elaine's Kitchen. So if this is happening, then that means that we are going to run at serious losses. It's really going to affect us.
No, it's very sad, you know, that the climate for business is so challenging that a company that was established in 2015 in Europe and then has come to Africa and is so far in, I think, 7 African countries, is having to pull out of Ghana because the Ghana climate is not favorable, you know. And so we'll question, what is it that's making climate so unfavorable, so that African countries, they are looking to expand in other African countries, and yet they have to close down and shut down. And these are things that we shouldn't take lightly, because they are indicators of challenges in the system, you know. And somebody may say, oh, you people couldn't do your business. But you see, they are doing business in other countries. So the question again comes back to, how are we managing our nation? How are we managing? Look, everybody's complaining. Let's go to Gter. This company is a service provider, providing a multi-category delivery service, right? So not just food, but whatever delivery you want to make, that small package delivery, you pick it up for you, they deliver it. Convenience. And they give it to you at good rates. I mean, I'm sure your experience has been good,
very
right?
Good rates.
So they give you a good rate. So it's a service we didn't used to have. I mean, go back a few years. If you want to do delivery, you call a taxi, and then you pray that the taxi driver doesn't steal your thing. Do you see? But now you have services like this, right? And we don't do enough within those who play in that sector, in terms of Ministry of Finance, in terms of Ministry of or GRA, you know, various agencies and ministries that can do things and take decisions that will allow some of these service providers to be able to function better. You know, why is Gter complaining about rates and taxes and levies and so on and so forth? Because the reality is that they are too high. They are too many, right? You're buying fuel, and you buy 100 Ghana cedis, and your
100 cedis.
Yes, and your
that's little.
Your indicator will do. The indicator hasn't moved. It doesn't. 100 cedis. That's all. It's not doing anything because there's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with what we are doing. You see, but guess what? When people who are the managers of what we call our ecosystem, our business ecosystem, the managers. So you're looking at, again, GRA, you're looking at Ministry of Finance, you're looking at other bodies and so on and so forth, the economic side of things. Many of these people or these groups and those who run these spaces, they do not spend their money, their salary, okay, on daily expenses as we do. So for example, many of them and the higher echelons, the decision makers, free fuel, they don't pay rent. They have clothing allowance, like ridiculous thousands of Ghana cedis worth of clothing allowance. So really, your salary, is for chilling. That's the reality. So when Ghanaians are saying that things are hard, the truth is they don't know what you're talking about. Because they don't experience it. Which one is hard? They fuel or no? They filled the tank. They filled the tank and he didn't remove 1 Ghana cedi. Not from his pocket. It was paid for. So the reality is that he doesn't understand the issue. Me, I'm buying 100 Ghana cedi. You know why? Because that is what can work today. Yeah. That's what. It's not that I don't want to fill my tank. Of course, if it was about want, I would like to fill my tank. Do you understand? So go and park and say, hey, fill
the tank.
Do you see that thing? Yeah. But it's not easy like that. But those who are filling their tank like that, they're not paying for it. So.
Life, the sad realities. Now, let's move on to GhanaWeekend.com. That is one of our portals over here at Citi TV and Citi FM. Make sure you're going there to read. Now, we have the live streaming of Citi TV and Citi FM's annual family consecration. Like I told you, you can get them on our CityTube and you can also get it on Facebook. Thousands gather for Citi TV, Citi FM's annual family consecration today. And if you're not there yet, please make sure you are rushing there. And I read, all roads lead to the Oil Dome, Royal House Chapel in Abosokai, Accra, today for the highly anticipated 2024 edition of the Family Consecration Service organized by Citi TV and Citi FM. Thousands of Ghanaians are anticipated to participate in the event, scheduled for 6 a.m. to 12 noon. Families will convene for prayer, seeking God's guidance, protection, and blessings for the remainder of the year. The 6-hour service will be overseen by Reverend Dr. Stephen Yenesum Wingham, the General Superintendent of Assemblies of God, Ghana, and Vice Chairman of African Assemblies of God Alliance, alongside esteemed pastors such as Reverend Fred McDavis, Reverend Mauli Chikata, Reverend Foster Mauli Benson, Reverend Nelson Owintia, and Reverend Mike. In addition to collective prayers, there will be specific intercessions of financial well-being, marriages, relationships, and health, addressing various facets of family life. Now, you can go on to read their story on there, or better yet, for you to have a better experience of the prayer session that is being led by Reverend Wingham. Make sure you're making your way there right now. It is not too late. I mean, it has rained and the rain is coming down.
There's still 4 hours to go.
It's still 4 hours to go. Yeah,
so
it's
go and
subsiding.
pray.
So please rush there and go with your family or go and intercede for your family, because Charlie, a family that prays together definitely stays together. You want us to do sports?
Yeah. All right, so it's time for sports. All right, now in some UEFA Champions League news, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid played out an exciting 2-2 draw in Germany in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League semi-finals. Now, Real Madrid took the lead in the first half through Vinicius Jr. after he was set up beautifully by Toni Kroos. Now, Bayern fought back early in the second half via a wonderful Leroy Sané goal and a Harry Kane penalty to go 2-1 up. Now, Vinicius Jr. scored again via a penalty on 83 minutes to set up next Wednesday's second leg in Madrid. Now, tonight, Dortmund face PSG for the third time this season in the other semi-final of the UEFA Champions League. Now, the two teams were in the same group, and PSG beat Dortmund in France and got a 1-0 draw in Germany.
Now let's go to our Euro 2024. Belgium goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois will miss Euro 2024 following a knee ligament injury despite a potential return for Real Madrid. Now Courtois has missed the entire season and needed another operation on his knee in March when he had a setback. He might return for Real Madrid before the end of the campaign, but Belgium coach Domenico Tedesco has ruled him out for Euro 2024.